In this video, we're going to find extrema of functions. The word extrema means finding a maxima and minima. Maxima is just finding the highest point on a graph, if it exists. It doesn't always. And finding minima is finding the lowest point on a graph. When I use the word point, I am specifically referring to an ordered pair. And remember, an ordered pair is x, comma, y. So if I look at this linear equation here, what's the highest or lowest point? Remember, on a linear equation, the graph is really going on forever. So the graph is going up and to the right forever on this side of the graph, and it's going down and to the left forever on this side of the graph. Well, if the graph is going up and down forever, does it have a highest or lowest point at which it stops? What we're looking for is we're looking for a place where the graph changes direction. And in this particular graph, there is no extrema, because there's no place where the graph changes direction, where it's going up and then it stops and then it comes back down, or it's going down and then it stops and then it comes back up. But let's look at one that does. In this graph, if you read it from left to right, I want you to notice that first the graph is going down. But then down here it stops, and then the graph starts to go up. Anytime the graph changes direction, we have this thing called an extrema. This particular extrema is at the bottom of the graph, so we're going to call it a minimum. And at what ordered pair is that minimum? Well, I'm going to go 3 to the right, and I'm going to go 4 down, so it's at 3, comma, negative 4. So there's a minimum, and that minimum is at 3, negative 4. Let's do this again. In this absolute value graph, if you read it from left to right, first the graph is going up, and then it changes directions and starts to go down. So this is the highest point on the graph, so it's at a maximum. And what ordered pair is that maximum? Well, I'm going to go 3 to the left, that's negative 3, and then I'm going to go 6 up. So the maximum is at negative 3, comma 6. In this square root function, I want you to see, so we normally, when you're looking at the graph, you probably look at it and you go, well, it's going to the right forever. But as it's going to the right, I want you to know that it's getting further and further away from the x-axis. That means the graph is really going up and to the right forever. It's hard to imagine it going up when you physically see that orange line going to the right. But so there's no highest point, but there is a lowest point. This is the lowest point on the graph because all the rest of the orange graph is above it. So we have a minimum here, and that minimum is at negative 4, negative 1. And that is finding extrema.